Hi guys, today I present you an 8 divines per hour Elder Guardian Boss Rush strategy. More than half of the profits are guaranteed and the majority of the profits are stable. The setup is very simple. We will not be using any Sextants, we will not be using any Scarabs, we will not even be rolling on maps. In fact, for my experiment, I scoured my maps to showcase the profits that can be made on a weaker character. The selling of items is very simple too. I will elaborate further later. I have also included a gameplay video with tips to refine your mapping. First, I'd like to talk about the profit breakdown per map. The first and only cost on our list is the Elder Guardian map, which we will be buying in bulk for 11 chaos each. The first income stream is proccing the Exarch influence, and each proc of the Exarch influence will give us 1.1 map progress, and we will earn an average of 11 chaos per map. The next income stream is the Elder Fragment set. Every Elder Guardian is guaranteed to drop 1 fragment, and it is very important not to sell the fragments individually, but a set of 4 which we can sell for 0.7 divines each, which will come down to 40 chaos per fragment. And therefore our guaranteed profits is 40 chaos per map. The only way that these guaranteed profits change is market fluctuations in prices, but the exact proc and the fragment drop is guaranteed. The next income stream is a very stable income stream, which is the Twisted Invitation. Someone has done a 400 map experiment on Elder Guardian boss killing, and he has in the 400 maps dropped 70 the Twisted Invitation, which pans out to a 17.5% drop rate for this invitation, which will yield us 16 chaos per map. Overall, this 56 chaos per map is very stable. The Twisted drop is very stable because 17.5% is basically 1 in every 5 maps. It is not like hoping and praying for an apothecary or something that drops 1 every 100 maps. This will drop more or less every 5 maps, and therefore the stable profit comes down to 56 chaos per map. Now we also have miscellaneous profits because on the way to a boss, other things can drop, and this during my experiment of 40 Elder Guardian boss rushes pans out to 20.7 per map, and later we will go into the breakdown. So overall, we are earning 76.7 chaos per map, and I like how the guaranteed profits are more than half of the profits here, and the stable profits make up more than 70% of our overall profits, which means that this strategy is very stable. Now into the profits per hour. The expectation is that we complete a map in 2.5 minutes, which will turn out into 24 maps per hour. I think this is a really realistic expectation since we are just going to a map, running straight to the boss, kill the boss, and come out. And if you clear 24 maps per hour, you will be earning 8 divines per hour. Now, if you have a slower build, you spend 3 minutes per map, then you will be clearing only 20 maps per hour, and you will be earning 6.7 divines per hour. On the flip side, if you can actually clear a map in 2 minutes per map, you will be clearing 30 maps per hour, which will mean that you'll be earning 10 divines per hour. Now, I think this is quite difficult because we are including the loading time to enter and exit the map, and putting the map into the map device, the portals opening. So unless you have a Mage Blood or a build specialized for running fast and boss rushing, I think it will be quite difficult to clear an Elder Guardian map in 2 minutes per map. If you have a build that can do that without a Mage Blood, please post your build in the comments below. I know such builds exist and I'm interested to know what they are. But if you do so, you will be earning 10 divines per hour. I would think the faster builds will be somewhere in between 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes, which means that the profits will be around 9 divines per hour. This is a very important table that shows divines per hour and how many seconds you should spend earning a chaos orb. So this table shows that if you are earning 5 divines per hour, you take 3.13 seconds to earn 1 chaos orb. And if you are earning 10 divines per hour, you must earn a chaos orb every 1.57 seconds. I think this table is very good in illustrating how we should spend our time. if we are earning 8 divines per hour, we must be generating 1 chaos every 1.96 seconds. So we must have this mindset of not wasting our time and spending our time on very low value things. Just because something is profitable doesn't mean that we should do it. Our goal is not to earn the most profit per map, but to earn the most income per unit time. And therefore, at 8 divines per hour, if you need to generate 1 chaos every 1.96 seconds, if you drop something worth half a chaos that requires your character to U-turn, go back and take it, you probably shouldn't, because it will mean that you are lowering your income. Unless the item drops straight at your feet or you're waiting for Elder Guardian animation, you do not want to pick up things that are worth less than half a chaos. That's also where a loot filter becomes very important. You don't really want to see stuff that is less than half a chaos. The only scenario you pick up something less than half a chaos is if it drops right at your feet. So understanding this table is very important. It also applies to buying and selling items. If you don't always try to like scrape like 1 or 2 chaos, because time is money, right? If you're trying to save 1 chaos but it takes more than 2 seconds, 2 seconds or more, you are earning less than 8 divines per hour. So I think this table is very helpful in illustrating how we should spend our time and the opportunity cost of our time for various levels of income per hour. Since our strategy is to rush to the map boss as fast as possible, queue it, and then get out of the map, we will only be allocating mechanics that we can easily do on the way to map boss. And I do not consider Legion and Essence as fast enough. So one of the mechanics that we allocate is strong boxes. So we add all of these strong box nodes. We will only be opening the special strong boxes, such as operative for Scarabs, currency, maps, and divination cards. We will not be opening the ordinary strong boxes unless we have delirium, which will add to the map progress. And another mechanic that we will do is delirium. So we block all of the other nodes, all the other content, and we allocate streams of consciousness to increase, and we add all the delirium passives to increase the delirium chance as high as possible, because it is one of the mechanics that is that we can just do on the way to the boss. And we will add this Descent to Madness because we'll be rushing directly to the boss. Note that we do not add these Imagine Pursuits because we have to stop the Delirium Mirror before we go and fight the Elder Guardian boss, because if the Delirium ends while we are in one of the phases, all your items will be lost in that phase. So that's why we do not add Imagine Pursuits. And the next mechanic that we'll be looking at is Nico. So we add all hands, we add mining partnership for more Nico proc, and we also add some of the Nico chance. The reason why we want Nico is firstly packed with energy. It gives us increased movement speed. That's the primary reason, and the secondary reason is increased damage, and the tertiary reason is increased defense. And the next important note is mining byproducts. Now, mining byproducts gives us 10% chance to gain Azurite from the pile of sulfite, and with this Azurite, we can buy resonators that later we can bulk sell for profit. So therefore we want Nico, and all this quantity also increase the amount of Azurite that we get. So the third mechanic is Nico, and the fourth mechanic is the Exarch Influence. So we add Baptize with Fire so that we increase our map progression to get the Incandescent Invite. And we also want altars. Altars are important, especially those. Some altars are very profitable, such as those that drop Awakened Sextant, Chaos Orb, Annulment Orb, or even those Vow Orbs ones are profitable. Oh yeah, and also the Greater and Grand Eldritch Embers, those are very profitable. Those altars that proc like Chisel and all that is not important because we will not really be picking up chisels, but use it to drop more Awakened Sextants, etc. So we generally just rush straight to the boss. If we get a really good altar like Awakened Sextants or Grand Eldritch Embers, then we may kill a bit more monsters in that map. So then the next mechanic is map drops. So we have all this map duplication, and we have all these one tier higher for the map. Some people may think, oh, I have 4 Void Stones, all my maps will drop T16. Yes, it is true that all will drop T16, but how the game works is that it will still try to drop it will internally still mobs will try to drop T1 to T15 maps. It is just that you do not drop the T1 to T15 maps. They use a map equity system where it accumulates and then you drop your T16 map. So you still need higher tier or for maps, because instead of dropping a T50 map, you can drop a T60 map directly, or instead of a T40 map, you can drop a T15 map, which will increase the map equity system. I think we'll take another video to explain the map equity system, but long story short, even with 4 void stones, all this increased map tier will increase the number of maps that you get in the map. And people ask me, wait, you're boss rushing, why don't you allocate things like remnants of the past? Why don't you add all these nodes where you gain something after you kill the final map boss? Well, for Elder Guardian maps, the Elder Guardian does not count as a final map boss. You will never drop a Shaper map or Elder Guardian map or Synthesis map from an Elder Guardian map, so map boss. So all these nodes do not work on Elder Guardian map, so we do not allocate them. Unless the game has changed, which I don't think so. So, and then if you do not have 132 nodes, I think the nodes that you should unallocate is actually the Delve mission chance. I think these are the lower priority nodes. And that's about it. That is our Atlas tree. For favorite map, first you want to check on the PoE trade website on the well-selling maps. So they're probably something like Crimson Temple, City Square, Mesa, Beach, Strand. You want to find a map that sells well for Divines, and then you will spend all but one of the favorite map slot on the map that you want to sell. Then for the last map, you want to look for a good connected map. So for example, if you are doing Promenade, the best connected map is probably Atoll, so you want to spend it on Atoll. If this is too troublesome for you, you can just put all the favorite slots on the map that you want to sell. The strategy here is very simple. You put in the map, you enter the map, you run to the map boss, you kill the map boss, and you get out. And on the way there is where you earn the miscellaneous profits. So June is not worth it, just skip. Altars, for altars, you generally want to click them. You do not need to read them, you can just click the minion option. There will be no boss option because Elder doesn't count as a final map boss. So in this map we actually have good altars because I see that we are dropping Grand Eldritch altars, Embers, so we can stay a bit longer in this map. It will probably help our income per hour. Temple is an above average map for Elder Guardian boss rush. You don't get to choose what maps you run, so you will eventually learn the map layouts. I don't know why all of Horizon is showing. I'm using the second highest filter for Neversing, and I think picking up all of Horizon is actually probably a loss in income per hour. So this is downtime here, where Elder is eating the map boss. Here's where you can open a portal, you can sort your inventory, you can scour your maps, you can roll your maps. So there's no need to scour maps if I just wanted to scour the map to show what a weak character could earn from this map rush, boss rush strategy. But if you can run high con and rarity maps, then all the more. That will increase your miscellaneous profit. But I wouldn't recommend spending time to roll them, because there's a waste of time. If there's certain mods your build can't do, it's probably better to just scour and go. The better map layouts would be something like Reef or Cemetery, where you can just rush straight to the boss. For those really terrible map layouts like Maze, you can consider horizoning them. It may be worth it to just horizon them. So the thing I like about this strategy is you don't even need to visit the stash every map. You don't even need to visit the stash like every 10 maps, because you pick up so little things. Your inventory hardly fills. Okay, this map we have a Delirium mirror, and we are not trying to kill as many mobs as possible. We just run straight to boss. So okay, so I opened a strong box there because we have Delirium, and killing monsters from a strong box increases our Delirium progress. Otherwise, I will not even I'll probably not even bother with opening a jewelry strongbox. As for Sulfite, they help us to move faster, and they also give us Azurite, which we can exchange for Resonators. So even if I have a currency delirium, I just run straight to the map boss. It is important to end the delirium before you enter the Elder Guardian fight, because if the delirium ends in the middle of a phase, then your items will be lost for good. So if the delirium mirror ends in this phase and you transition to the next phase, all your items will be gone. Now the Eradicator is one of the harder Elder Guardian map bosses. When he does this thing, when he stands up, you need to try to dodge. And on his downtime, in between here, you can stretch, you can... Okay, for this phase, you need to kill his ads. Because there's so much phasing and here and there, so like even if you down his HP, he has to finish his animation. So even if you have a slower build, you will not be much slower, because everyone still has to wait for the Elder Guardian map boss to phase. And this build is very trade friendly. If somebody wants to trade you in the middle of the map, you can probably accept the trade, because you're probably going to out of the map in like 1 minute anyway. And actually, if there's someone in your hideout while you are exiting the map, it is actually even faster to get out of the map, because you do not need to wait for Elder Guardian to create a portal. You can just click on the person's portrait, press yes, and get out of the map. So we're not interested in catching beasts, we just want to go to the map boss. If there's items worth more than half chaos, generally it's okay to pick up. I'm running a Devouring Diadem Codot. It is a mapping variant of Codot. Most Codot players are EOM, but Devouring Diadem is so much better for mapping, and it can scale to very high end. I will link the build in the guide. I will link the guide in the link below. So the Elder Guardian will spawn in the pot. So if you're a melee character, you know where to stand. And there's a lot of downtime like this, so it's actually quite enjoyable, because it's not like very stressful. You need to click 120 times per second. There's downtimes for you to close your eyes, stretch, alternate tab, watch 5 seconds of Netflix, do your laundry in between the Elder Guardian phases. So Eradicator is one of the hardest Elder Guardian bosses. And after you kill this, there'll be a part where you have to wait for Ether to spawn a portal. This is where you can skip if you are trading with someone. And maybe I should have put the portal nearer. So when I say 1.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes per map, I'm including getting off the map, going to the map, and waiting for the portals to spawn. So I think it is kinda difficult to do it under 2 minutes, unless you have a Mage Blood or you have a speed optimized build. Now Essence is not worth of time, we just want to skip. Now we have an Operative Strongbox. For Operative Strongbox, we will hang around to wait for the loot. And this is actually quite a pathetic strongbox. I mean Operative Strongbox. Usually we get around double the loot of this. So we're not interested in making the delirium as far as possible, we're just rushing straight to boss. And while waiting for Ether to eat the boss, you can kill a bit more monsters. Hopefully you drop a Divine Orb. Set up a portal, pick up loot. Set your connected map for the next map. Now when I say under 2 minutes, I mean across maps on average, because there are some maps like Cemetery where you can reach the boss in 15 seconds, but there are some maps like Underground River where the boss is very far away from the starting point. What I like is also we pick up so little things. It is so quickly, so easy to sell everything. So every sulfide, we want to click sulfide nodes because they can give us Azurite and help us walk faster. But our main goal is always rush to the boss. So in this scenario, we found the room, we just go straight to the boss. Unless you haven't proc the influence before you find a boss, then that's the only reason to kill more monsters. Otherwise you run straight to the boss. So this will be a very fast map. This will be out in maybe like 1.5 minutes. So you can definitely optimize the running for this build. There are tattoos that increase movement speed, there's tattoos that give onslaught. You could change some of your auras to speed auras like haste, especially if you're facing a boss like me where we're just basically waiting for the boss animation most of the time. Yep, and this map is around 1.5 minutes. Now we'll look at our miscellaneous profits for our 40 Elder Garden maps experiment. For currency, we have 409 Chaos Orbs, although actually most of these are underpriced because they are assuming that you're selling for Chaos. Pro tip, sell your currency in Divines, you can get a much higher profit. So for example, for Grand Eldritch Ember, you can actually sell at 20 or 21 to 1 Divine. Let's check. Yep, you can sell for 21 or 20. This is most probably a price fixer. So even those people that are selling at a chaos basis, they are selling for at least 10 chaos, even though they have a very small number like 12 or 4 or 3. So I will change the price for this to 11 chaos. And I could change so on and so forth, but I think that's enough. The rest are a lesser percentage, and the majority of the currency comes from the big items. All this bubblegum currency, if you don't sell, it doesn't really matter. So overall for currency, we have 451 Chaos Orbs. For invitations, we will exclude the Twisted, the Incandescent Invite and Polaric invitations, which we calculate separately, and we have 117 Chaos Orbs. For Delirium Orbs, we have 75 Chaos. We are quite unfortunate that we didn't get any of the high value Delirium Orbs like Skittering or Divination, and I recommend that you sell Delirium Orbs in bulk because you can easily sell them at 120% of the PoE Ninja price. For Fragments, we will exclude the Elder Fragments as we will be bulk selling them as a set for at least 0.7 Divines each, and we will have 61 Chaos for Fragments. For maps, we have 14 maps, and we are going to assume that we can sell them at 4C each in bulk. Although the truth is, for maps like Strand, you can actually sell 30 maps to 1 Divines if you are willing to wait, which is about 7.6 chaos each. And if you don't want to wait, you can quickly sell them for 5 to 6 chaos each. I recommend pricing your maps in bulk for Divines if possible, but otherwise, we're just going to assume 4C per map here, and that will add up to 56C for the T16 maps. And for the silver coins, we have 18 silver coins here, which we will price at 18C in total. For Scarabs, we have 25 chaos. For divination cards, I will exclude the lower value divination cards, only taking the top two, and we have 26 chaos orbs. For fossils and essences, their value adds up to 10 chaos orbs. I think it is better we exclude this from our calculations. Each time you click a pile of sulfite, you have a 10% chance to gain an equal amount of azurite, and so each time you basically have a 10% chance to gain about 1200 azurite, and 1200 azurite can buy you 4 of these primitive chaotic resonators, which sell for 80 to 1 divines. So basically, each time you click a pile of sulfite, you're on average getting about 1.1 chaos orbs. I've excluded this from the profit calculations, but I just want you to know how to monetize your azurite. This is how we arrive at a 20.7 chaos per map miscellaneous profit. Now I'll talk about how to bulk buy and sell items. So the item that we need in bulk is Elder Guardian maps, and so what you should do is you should go to the TFT Discord, go to bulk maps want to buy, and you write an advertisement for how many Elder maps you want to buy. You should first check out the market price, so people buying at 10C each. 10C, so you can just undercut them and just offer to buy 11 or even 12C each, because remember the table with divines per hour and how many chaos you need to earn every how many seconds. So don't waste your time trying to scrape 1 or 2 chaos. Better to buy in bulk and spend hours running your maps than to try to pinch 1 or 2 chaos here. That will actually lower your income per hour. And once you have the Elder Fragments, you go to bulk sets want to buy and you sell your Elder Fragments here as a set. So you look for someone with wants to buy Elder set, so this 0.6 divines, this is a bit too low. So you can see someone here wants to buy for 0.7 divines, so this is about 40 chaos per fragment. And you can also use the search function here. You can search for Elder. You can see who wants to buy Elder fragments. So this guy wants to buy for 0.75 divines each, which is even better, which means you get maybe about 43 chaos per fragment. And when you want to sell Delirium Orbs, I don't recommend going to bulk entire tabs. They will buy your Delirium Orbs, but they won't give you a good price. They give you like 105%. Better to go to bulk Delirium Orbs and sell your Delirium Orbs here. Of course, you don't sell him your skittering, but you sell him all the basic ones. So for example, just now we saw each Delirium Orb was only priced at 11, 12, but over here people are willing to take from you at 14C each, or even at 15C each. Now, if you want a higher profit margin, you can always go to want to sell, and then you say how much you want to sell. So for example, bulk sets want to sell, you can go and say, okay, I want to sell my Elder sets at 0.8 divines each. But the only downside is you probably need to wait for someone to come to you. So it may not be the best use of time, so spend your time wisely. For Scarabs, I think the best way is to go to bulk entire tabs want to buy and sell your Scarabs here. As for the currency items like Awakened Sextants, Vow Orbs, I recommend you sell them in divines. They can always yield higher result than selling them for chaos. And for maps, I recommend checking out which maps have the highest price in divines, and you should sell them for divines. So for example, you list the entire tab 1 divided by 40 divines, which means that you are selling 40 maps for 1 divine, which is 5.75 chaos per map. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today, and stay tuned for more PoE content.